What is sustainable fashion? As big clothing brands slowly jump on the sustainable fashion or eco-friendly fashion trend, the true meaning of sustainable fashion can get lost in marketing or greenwashing of clothes. So what really is sustainable fashion, and how do you decide if a brand is actually truly sustainable? These are 3 things you should know about sustainable fashion. The first thing to consider is who made your clothes and where were they made. So a lot of fast fashion companies don't disclose where their clothes were made, meaning the factories that they used in terms of the production of these garments and which countries they were made in. This is oftentimes just because the factories are not up to code and the garment workers are actually put into danger in terms of their physical safety and also not making living wages and often working a lot of overtime. Because these factories aren't always in the best conditions and are unsafe for their workers, these brands will try and hide this from the customer, which is you. Because a lot of production is done overseas in countries like China, India, or even smaller countries like Cambodia, it's difficult to trace exactly where that garment is coming from. And if you can't visit that factory firsthand, you as a consumer will not be able to see where those garments are coming from. So in terms of sustainable fashion, brands that are really transparent about where their clothes are made, who is making them, really oftentimes this is up to the brand to disclose that information to the customers. And I think brands should be taking a lot of responsibility for this, since they are the ones who are in contact with the production team. Brands should really be making this one of their top priorities in order to ensure that their workers are in safe conditions. The second thing you need to know about sustainable fashion, and when looking at whether a brand is actually sustainable, is what materials are being used. Fast fashion brands are often using cheaper materials, which means they might lose their quality and shape and texture after a few washes, or they might even just tear really easily. Polyester is a fiber that is frequently used by fast fashion brands, and this is actually a petroleum oil-based fabric, and that's really unsustainable for our environment because it won't be able to biodegrade, and also the process to create that fabric is also environmentally intensive. Some other fabrics that we don't always think about are things like denim that have really intense acid washes or washes on them. These fabrics actually take a lot of chemicals and energy to either dye the fabric or treat the fabric, and all of these processes can actually be really damaging to our environment in terms of all the chemicals and energy that's being used to create these fabrics. So sustainable fashion really takes into consideration what materials are being used. So durable materials and natural materials, natural fibers such as bamboo, linen, and hemp, these are all natural fibers that can actually biodegrade, and that is better for our planet. Other popular sustainable fabrics include using recycled and upcycled waste materials. So dead stock materials and using secondhand materials are actually a great way to create sustainable fashion. So the third thing to consider when it comes to sustainable fashion is the design and the afterlife of the garment. So this is really looking at that closed loop system. So when the garment was initially designed, was it made to last a long time? But also, what would have happened if a customer wanted to return that garment or wanted to get rid of it? So really thinking about the afterlife of the garment and seeing if that brand offers, a take-back program where customers can actually return their clothes for a little incentive. So a brand would be like Eileen Fisher, who has that take-back program, where they will then use those clothes to create a new garment. And even brands like Patagonia, they have information on their sites to help wearers, repair their clothes and really extend the life of their garment. So a lot of sustainable brands will really think about the afterlife of their garment and how they can help their customers really close that loop with them to create less waste and to just reuse materials and be able to create new products from them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps give you a better idea of what sustainable fashion really means and what to look for when deciding if a brand is truly sustainable. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe down below, and see you next time. Bye!